Hey, so let's talk about the day my life changed forever, because I made a video about a meme. That's a bit of a weird thing to admit, honestly, but it's what happened. On this exact day, 1 year ago, I made a video about a higher version of Hightower. Now, the idea of TF2 joke maps isn't something new, but last year the concept exploded within the community. Wacky map after wacky map. Maps based purely on memes. Maps which elongated features for no discernible reason whatsoever. Maps designed to be completely unplayable. And even maps designed to instigate players into the cult of our glorious Lord and Savior Harry Hill. The joke map isn't for the average player that wants to play a nice old pub. It's for the person who wants a refreshing break from TF2's core gameplay. Something fun and silly to tide you over and create some memories with. Not everyone just wants to play the game. Some of us want to try out dumb stuff and have a laugh. And the wacky map scene is almost the perfect medium for this in TF2. Here is something ridiculous that shouldn't be in the game. Here's a lobby of 24 people playing. Good luck. Do I push the cart? Do I take the high ground? How long is this even gonna take? So why did the wacky map scene absolutely explode this time last year in particular? Memes. Honest to God, memes. Memes have been around for ages, even predating internet culture. Seriously, there's an entire field of study dedicated to researching them that spawned in the 1980s. Look up memetics. But they've taken on a new unprecedented relevance in mainstream culture, dominating social media. Even politicians and companies market themselves today through the use of memes. Looking at you, Sonic Twitter, you lovable shitposter. The quality varies drastically, but they're a cool thing in culture. Memes spread like wildfire, spawn variants, and escalate dramatically until we know we're truly on the darkest timeline, and there's a reason why aliens haven't contacted us. The same thing happened in the mapping scene last year for TF2. 50-foot orange tower, with the frickin' nerd Cerny making a video on it. And then Hightower, but it's an even higher tower. Yours truly made the original video on that one. The popularity of these two maps and their videos spawned variants and iterations, all with similar joke premises. The result was a complete explosion in the TF2 mapping scene. Even spawned the new type of custom server specifically for wacky maps. Higher Tower is now one of the most popular TF2 maps ever made on the Steam Workshop. And although the meme has started to peter off, as is the case with all memes, because culture is constantly changing, they still form a large part of TF2's history of the past year. Wacky maps are still being made, but they're not as big of a phenomenon now, which is probably for the best, to be honest, as some of them are getting a bit too obscure or tame in their concepts. There's still gems and diamonds in the rough. Freaking hand-drawn Cuphead boss fight map released this month, and it's actually amazing, but wacky maps aren't as dominant as they once were. I know for myself, I only try to make videos on the more interesting ones I find. Seriously, go check out the Cuphead map. So much work went into making that. So did wacky maps only explode in popularity because memes were a thing? Not quite. See, around this time last year, TF2 was experiencing its longest content drought to date. The last substantial update for the game had been Meet Your Match in 2016, and there hadn't been much news since, bar a handful of game-changing cosmetics. Oh hell yeah, this completely revolutionizes everything. TF2 was in a bit of a bad place, and there was a lot of fear and uncertainty regarding the future of this game. It's a good point to mention that historically, TF2 has always received a big summer update that adds a huge batch of new content. Except this didn't happen in 2017. We didn't receive the first big update of the year until the very end of October, which, if you'll look closely, might need your glasses for this one, isn't summer. We went a full year and a half in the end, with no new content of note. Wacky maps filled the void for the lack of new content. So when the scene started to take off following the two tower maps, and there was still no new updates in sight, people flocked to them. It was something new and exciting taking place within the community, and at the time it felt quite fresh and original. Memey as hell, but it was great. It was a good reason to keep playing the game during this time, as not much was happening on Valve's end. Wacky maps were the unofficial community update of last year, providing us with something new to experience while we worried about the game's future. And because so many iterations were being made at a regular pace, there was no shortage of new content to play. And it was genuinely funny and so outlandish when compared to the base game that the scene continued to grow and grow. This resulted in more content creators making videos on the maps, propelling the map's popularity even further. So why are wacky maps not as common now? Well, it's just like any meme. They spread like wildfire, spawn iterations and variants until they become oversaturated and obscure. This results in a small handful of the maps being celebrated and elevated above the others as quality wacky maps that stand out and are still entertaining to this day. Let me put it another way. People still play Higher Tower. but no one really cares about higher tower but it's twice as tall. Or high tower but there's no tower. Or higher tower but there's multiple towers and it's captured the flag and Noel Edmonds is a rare spawn when questing the Irati Highlands. The original creative Wacky Maps is celebrated and the rest sort of faded away. It's the same reason Bad Water but the cart moves 10 times faster is celebrated, and none of the other faster maps receive as much attention. The idea with Bad Water was the first of its kind, creative and funny as hell. The rest were just iterations following the same gag. We sort of have a collector's DVD box set of the best Wacky Maps available, with only the occasional new ones added in. When I was making my videos last summer showcasing these maps, this is what I tried to bear in mind. I didn't want to make videos on literally every version of Hightower. I want to find a small handful of maps that I found genuinely entertaining in their own way. The challenge was to find the DVD box set maps that I'd want to play again in the future. To this day, Fast Water is a map I genuinely love to throw in server rotations, alongside things like Train Grid. The concept and creativity in these maps is the part I enjoy the most, and sometimes it doesn't go as well. Higher Tower in Jamul Mine is an absolute abomination that tries to splice multiple maps together and is broken as hell. Thunder Mountain, but the floor fills with lava every 10 seconds, is also broken as hell. It literally crashes your game every 10 seconds you try to play it. But the concepts behind these maps were hilarious and entertaining to me. It's the kind of community content I love to see in this game, and it only seems possible within the framework of TF2. No other game has this kind of scene, and it's genuinely cool to see. Can we put Ocarina of Time's overworld into TF2? Sure, feck it, let's do it. It's not even a possibility in most games, but TF2 somehow finds a way. It's weird to look back on the impact of the Wacky map scene critically like this. I mean, of all things, Wacky is in their name, it's hard to take them seriously. But for a time, they were something big and celebrated within our community. They filled the void during a time of content drought, as the Jungle Inferno update appeared to be missing in action. And there's no doubt been many critics. Some TF2 folks bemoaned their popularity, as if it was the end times. Almost similar to those stories where Pokemon Go is destroying our humanity and society as a whole. Someone please think of the children! But the community at large remained rallied together and appreciated their novelty. And if you didn't like them, you just didn't have to play them. Simple as. So it's a bit of a weird feeling looking back on the scene. And this is something I never really talked about, but my video on Higher Tower was supposed to be one of my last. I had made videos on YouTube for 6 years by that point, continuing them all through my years at university. I thought then that I'd given YouTube a good shot, and I thought I'd have to leave it behind now that I was finishing my degree. There was a sense I had to enter the real world now and start settling down to find a normal working job. I was originally planned to move to Europe and teach English at a summer camp to try and get my bearings. And then, on the day I had my very last exam, my video on Higher Tower exploded. I remember watching it in YouTube Analytics, and the point where it reached 12,000 views in the span of an hour. By the end of the day, it was sitting at close to 200,000 views. And I remember thinking what I should do, and if it was right for me to still quit and move on with life. And I remember deciding, feck it, I may never have another shot at this. So I went for it. I made another video, also on custom maps, and it exploded as well. And the rest is kind of insane. My channel exploded, I found a sizable community after 6 years of making videos that enjoyed what I made. It was a crazy summer, to say the least. From that one video and the reception it received, and the following support on from that, I didn't give up on one of my dreams to entertain people. And as it rolled on, RTGame became an actual thing in the TF2 community. I got partnered on Twitch, I got partnered on Discord. I went on to organize the Blackbitcher Coast Summer Jam. We raised 14 grand for kids. There's even an item in TF2 from that now, which I actually wrote the description for. The thing about the Avocado Jam is something I actually wrote, and it's kind of a weird, crazy reminder of what the past year has been. The reason I'm saying all of this is because I have a personal history with this wacky map scene now. And even though the scene is settling, and I myself am moving on to different video formats, such as the How to Really Play series, the maps still have a special place in my heart. They, the community surrounding this game, and the support I received last summer, it all changed my life in a way I never really anticipated. Doing this is my passion in life, and I thought I'd have to give it up before. Never really got to mention all of this on the channel to this degree, but I want to say thank you to everyone that found out who I was from that one video, who became a part of the channel, who subbed, hung out with me on the live streams. It's insane. My life has changed dramatically now. From that support, I'm currently now living out another dream of mine I had in life. I freaking moved to Japan for this year. That's another thing I'd never thought I'd be able to do. And now I'm kind of living over here and still playing games on the internet somehow. My life's kind of weird when I think about it too much. But thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Wacky maps, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus, that got freaking heavy at the end. I was just expecting the dumb higher tower variant. That's where you're wrong, because we're pulling out all the stops tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Higher tower, but it's an even higher tower. It's so tall, I can't process this. The ultimate pinnacle of TF2's mapping prowess, taking literally minutes to copy and paste the central tower and to put it on top of the first one. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Daniel, you've done it again. This is the best map. Lose actual years of your life as you attempt to capture the objective, questioning your poor life decisions. I need to spend my time better and to value what's important. I love this. Higher Tower, the sequel. It's an even higher tower. Coming soon to a cinema near you. I've got to be first in line. This changes everything. Oh no.
Oh my god, Daniel, I love the custom maps!
Did he say custom maps? He said custom maps!
We have Medics v Scout in the first round. All of these contestants are the best of the crop.
It's going way too quick. It's barely even keeping on the track.
Nintendo Witch.
It's finally back. Why is there like a danger keep out sign next to Harry? Oh, it came from the other side! Wait, no!
Have to honor the memory of Cactus Canyon. The fuck do you think you're doing with a crossbow?
Oh god, you can just catch glimmers of it. Oh god!
Violence is okay under certain circumstances, as we've learned. This is the most intense TF2 gameplay I've ever seen. I mean, this is like a slaughterhouse.
Is the cart also a spire? Oh no. The idea was to reproduce each year of TF2's lifespan. This is base vanilla TF2. You may notice that no one has any hats. That's a lot of projectiles down the corridor. If anyone played Love and War at launch, this is what it was like.
Everyone get ready to say cheese as time collapses.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.